our session on the orientation of the optional subject of sociology. Right? So, my name is Raj Rai. I used to take optional subject of sociology here at Next IAS, and entire discussion of today will be revolving around who should choose sociology optional in civil services and how sociology optional subject is going to benefit you, is going to basically help you in getting your dream destination at Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, right? So, first of all, sociology is what, if I may say, so whenever you see any subject, you find a pattern in that subject. Pattern in that subject is that often it is ending with suffix like logy. So you might have heard of psychology, right? You might have heard of astrology, right? So again, behind sociology also there is basically a suffix added called as logy. This is actually derived from the term logos, and this is a Greek word. What does it mean? It means systematic study. So, whenever we study something in a very systematic and scientific manner, that is what added with suffix logos या logy. Socio is another keyword here, and if you see here, it is derived from socius, and surprisingly this is a Latin word, not Greek word. So actually sociology is made up of interblending of two different words from two different language altogether. So this Latin word means companionship, and also we can say that it is one of the root word for origin of society. So from this word itself, what I meant or derived in a very simple and lucid manner is that sociology is systematic and scientific study of society. So this optional subject is all about knowing and understanding what are the different aspects we found in the societies. Now societies are everywhere. Indian society is also there, European society is also there, American society is also there. So this optional subject focuses on systematic and scientific study of all the societies in which a specific basically you can say orientation is. In paper 1, it primarily focus on studying the concept associated and derived from Western society, and entire paper 1 is all about it. And entire paper 2 is all about Indian society. Right? So what is sociology as a subject? Forgetting for a second as an UPSC optional. Again, sociology is that subject which focuses its attention on studying in detail about systematic and scientific manner of study of the society. And again, in Western society, it majorly focuses on studying of European or to a certain extent American society identified as Western. अब हर सोसाइटी को अलग अलग नहीं पड़ेगा ये कि अमेरिकन सोसाइटी, ब्रिटिश सोसाइटी, फ्रेंच सोसाइटी, they put all under one category of Western society, and here most of the scholars are Western scholars. European and American scholars will be covered here, and here majority of the scholars are Indian sociologists. So this is a simple idea related to the term sociology, right? Now again, sociology is one of the very important optional subject. So in civil services examination, again UPSC, which is a conducting body of this examination, allow a aspirant to choose one of the optional subject out of 48 choices. कई लोगों को एक चॉइस भी नहीं मिलती है, तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड हियर यूपीएससी इज ऑफरिंग 48 choices and whenever we get choices we always get confused, right? जैसे you might always see when you visited a restaurant and they give you a menu card, you will always have a confusion 5-10 minutes which option I should choose for consumption, right? So here one thing is very normal among the student who first time prepare for civil services is which optional subject should I choose. अब without being biased, I could say with all certainty that all optional subjects are helping you in excelling in examination. People have qualified civil services in basically exam by taking Santhali literature also. People have qualified in Gujarati literature also. People have qualified in Hindi and Urdu literature also. Geography also, sociology also, economics also, anthropology also, political science also, right? So it is not about which optional subject I should opt for, but again what optional subject is giving me immense pleasure to read, which optional subject I am more interested into. Because it is, if I have to take an analogy, optional subject is just like having different food items. Now there are thousands of variety of food item in India. North Indian food is there, South Indian food is there, Northeastern food is there. Again, outside India there are multiple varieties. But which food you will consume is what will basically you mostly like about. Every food is good in one way or the other because it satisfies your hunger. खाना आपका खाने से पेट भरेगा, हर खाना अच्छा है, बट कौन सा खाना आपको पसंद है, दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू मेक अ चॉइस. And that is what very difficult decision for a person who is first time entering into preparation. Why? Because in general studies you will have no choice. In general studies you hardly have any call to make. Suppose you don't like history. Do you think UPSC is going to extend a favor ki Mr. A don't like history, so let's not ask him any question from history? No. Suppose you don't like geography or economics. Do you think they are going to show any grace or mercy on you? No. जहां पे चॉइस नहीं है वहां पे तो आप पढ़ते ही हो, चाहे आपको इंटरेस्ट हो चाहे ना हो. सो दिस इज समथिंग वेयर यूपीएससी ऑफन नेवर कंसिडर अबाउट वेदर यू लाइक इट और यू डोंट लाइक इट. सपोज आपको साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी यू हैव लास्ट टाइम स्टडीड वाज इन योर 10th grade and after that you have left it forever, but then here also you have to study it whether you like it or you don't. So in GS paper 1 you don't have choice, in GS paper 2 you don't have choice, so is in 3 and 4. Also there is an essay paper where you don't have choice, and you have to appear in a compulsory language paper of English. However, you have another choice in your language paper, regional language paper, you can have any of your language, but these are two only qualifying. तो इसकी choice बहुत ज़्यादा effect नहीं करती है in your selection or non-selection. What is going to be a biggest role player in your final selection in the examination is which optional subject you choose, and not based on the popularity of optional subject, not based on how much highest score a candidate score in that optional subject. Because what I have observed again is majority of the candidate when they opt for an optional subject, their basic criteria to choose an optional subject is same. What is that basic criteria? My friend has taken optional A, so I should maintain the loyalty, I should take that option, right? दोनों ही साथ में डूबेंगे या दोनों ही उस साथ में एकेडमी चलेंगे, right? Secondly, another criteria which is not very genuine criteria would be how much this optional subject score in the last examination. Remember, optional subject never score. It is the candidate who opt that optional subject perform well in that optional subject examination and score well. So again, on its own, just because you are taking an optional subject doesn't mean it is started performing well unless you put your efforts, right? So this is also not the right way to choose an option. Again, you will also not think that any optional subject just because it is short in syllabus should be your criteria, because even if you have a very shortest syllabus but that doesn't get in your mind, you will not able to understand single thing. What is the point of having that short optional subject syllabus? There is no point, right? So again, scoring could be also not very important, and your friends or your seniors advice also may not be very basically fruitful in this regard. So what should we do to, and some might also say कि भाई बैकग्राउंड भी एक क्राइटेरिया होता है, अगर आपने उसमें ग्रेजुएशन किया है तो ले लीजिए. If this would have been a criteria, do you think UPSC has given you flexibility that you can opt for any other optional subject? No. If you are a medical science graduate, you would have been given no option. So if UPSC is giving you permission to choose any optional subject, they understand that any person can opt any optional subject in examination to excel, right? Again, some says overlapping, which we have understood also, overlapping in GS. जैसे मान लीजिए you have taken physics as an optional subject, but when you study physics, does it help you to write an essay? No. Does it help you in any way of your basically general studies? To a certain extent, it will not help you directly. Indirectly, it will definitely help. So overlapping is also one of the criteria. But if you ask me honestly, I would say if one criteria you should always look up to for opting an optional subject is your genuine interest in that subject. If you are interested in that subject, no matter how much others are getting marks, you will get excellent marks. Why? Because you will be genuinely interested in putting your time and efforts to excel in that basically subject, right? So first thing first, what should be ideally a criteria to take an optional subject will be interest, right? Again, along with interest, some more criteria we can add, which is associated with some kind of availability of guidance or material. मान लीजिए you have a genuine interest in an optional subject called as statistics, geology, but in the basically place where you are preparing, there is no material or guide or basically you can say mentor for it. What will happen? You have to dig the well yourself. Matlab, you have to do all the efforts by yourself. It is just like walking to a destination by basically on your own. But if there is a guidance or material, it help like having a taxi to reach to that destination, which will help you, facilitate you. So second you can add is some availability of basically material or guidance. Third thing which I feel is that apart from your genuine interest, availability of guidance, again you should go for a consideration if you want, otherwise it is not compulsory, that how much this optional subject will also help in other GS portion, which is not main criteria but one of the criteria. Why? Because examination process is very lengthy. In the world, if you give me any examination which is lengthier than civil service examination, it will be very few of them. Civil service is one of the lengthiest examination. Again, the duration itself is 1 year. So from the day you appear in prelims to the day when your final result is declared, it is more than 9-month duration. And again, you have to prepare for it. So 1 year in advance and 1 year in the process. 2 years is the examination process. If you start by today, you will expect any time your result after 2 years. So if we are starting in 2026, we can expect that in 2027 prelims will be appearing, and in 2028, maybe in the month of March to May, we will get our result if everything goes in our favor. So 2 years is the lengthiest period. And again, in this 2 years, you have to appear or prepare for all the GS paper. Again, all the essay or basically paper and other. So if your optional subject somehow gave you some relaxation for not reading many of the topic of the GS, it will basically improve your efficiency. You can do that preparation faster, right? This is big question. Sometimes we don't know what we like, what we are interested into. How to know that this food item is liked by us? How to know that this dress is liked by us? How to know that this particular kind of ice cream we like, right? So as an Indian person, we are very familiar with this. Whenever we want to make a choices, what we do? We will take a sample of it. Sample of it. Meaning, not now, but once upon a time, whenever people goes to a restaurant, often they ask a small portion of every food item. कि सब कुछ एक छोटा छोटा कटोरी में ले आओ, I'll taste it and then I'll order. which is what today ice cream parlors are also doing. They give you a small spoon to taste some of the ice cream's flavor. Some students, some people go there and eat all of them and says none of them we like. Nine. So this could be also done, but the easiest way to know which subject is most interesting for you is to go through some sample of it. Sample of it matlab some small quantity of that particular topic or subject you study. So let's say I am interested in geography, or I want to know whether I am interested in geography. The best source is to start from the NCERT 6 to 12 grade या 11th or 12th की NCERT पढ़ लीजिए. If it is interesting and you are able to make sense out of it, able to solve the question, and then you have some PYQs also understood, previous year question, then that is your option subject. So for sociology, in GS portion, there is Indian society. If Indian society topic of GS is understood by you, you enjoyed the learning of it, you were able to grasp the basic nuances and able to write answer on your own, that will be a short criteria ki I am interested in sociology. Then you need not to further ask, because the more you will be dwell on it unnecessarily when it is not needed, the higher will be the confusion, right? Because everyone have become an expert to mentor and guide the student ki this is what you should take, right? So you should take your own decision in this basically case when you are taking an option. So what is your decision here? Your decision is that if you like the Indian society topic and discussion in the classroom wherever you have studied, you should go for basically Indian sociology or sociology option, right? Some of you are very basically new and a beginner in that sense ki pehli baar you are entering into any classroom and you are preparing for civil services. So for them I would suggest ki there is a book called as Harlambus, which is more popular by its color coding orange cover, which is thinner book, Harlambus and Herd. Again, this is about themes and perspective. It has around 15 units, 14 to 15 units के आसपास है. Again, read 5 or 6 of it. If it is making some sense to you, you can opt that optional subject anytime without any second thought or worry, right? So these are the two things. If it is also very difficult for you, what we can do simply is you can start with NCERT. NCERT of what? NCERT of 11th and 12th grade. And try to read it and solve some question given in the back or some question of the sociology previous year, right? So these are the ways through which you can have an optional subject of sociology. ठीक है? So sociology optional subject के लिए आप ये कर सकते हैं, right? Again, still some of you will have difficulty in understanding कि I am unable to figure out what is I am interested into, right? So sometime what happen is it is the most difficult choice to make a choice itself, right? So for that all of you are here. We have also allowed or we have started a program for this reason only. From 1st of May, we are going to start our session with NCERT. This will be a 1 week or 12 days program for NCERT of 11th and 12th grade. Suppose you are still confused. So the institute has basically make a plan ki you will be permitted for some days, 2-3 days, 5 days, whatever institute considered appropriate. Again, you can sit in the class to basically understand about the basic discussion of the NCERT, right? Again, unfortunately, yeah, fortunately, it is only for offline. So we might not be able to provide it to our online friends. If they are interested, they can come to class to sit and basically attend this session. Now, after attending this session, what happen is you will able to get a clarity ki is sociology my cup of tea or not, right? And again, even if you realize that sociology is not making sense to you anyhow, right? The NCERT reading is one basically important aspect of your GS. So you will not have any loss also by attending this session because it is only the NCERT. Second thing is you can also have a clarity that if I am opting for sociology, There are multiple institutes which are teaching sociology. Why next IAS I should choose? Why not other institute? There are other good institute as well. And all the teachers who are teaching optional are excellent in their field. There is no doubt on that part. Every teacher, to the best of their interest, try to deliver the best possible, you can say, lectures on sociology. So there is no doubt about it. But the problem is that they might be excellent and expert in their domain. They will be very dedicated also. But if you are not making any sense of it, again, if you are not able to match their frequency of being discussion of the topic in the classroom, you will not able to do justice to the preparation. Let's say Amartya Sen is one of the best economists you might have heard of, for which he was awarded Nobel Prize. But if you attend his session, you will not get any single line if you have no background in what topic he is discussing. So he might be an expert in his field, but not a very good and basically simplified teacher of that particular subject, who is a newcomer. If you attend his session, after 5-10 minutes you feel exhausted. Why? Because he might be an extraordinary expert, but not a very good delivery agent of the topic in the mind of the person. So here you can also understand whether the way teaching is going on, the pedagogic exercise is going on, is making a sense to you or not. Are you able to connect with the topic in the classroom, or you are getting more bored in the classroom by sitting here, right? So this is one of the basically another judgment you can make by sitting in the class. So these are the two things, right? Now, again, what we do at next IAS, why if you have decided sociology, so first thing is to make a call. Out of 48 optional subjects, you have to make a call that yes, I wanted to take a optional subject of sociology. These many factors will play a role. You can do it by yourself by basically attending the GS classes anywhere and attend the Indian Society here also in next IAS. And you can read Harlambus if you have time, or you can simply go through NCERT by your own self. Otherwise, you can also basically join the session over here starting from 1st of May. Right? If you have decided to opt for sociology optional subject, next thought is which institute we should have. So as I mentioned, any institute are in a manner provide you best basically quality education to their best capacity. But what we do at next is how we are going to be different in comparison to other institutions who opt or who pursue or who taught the subject of sociology. So first and foremost thing is that I strongly believe in completing everything which is given in the syllabus, and I strongly also believe that every student should be familiar about every topic given in the syllabus. So first thing first is in next IAS we strongly emphasize on completion of entire syllabus. Completion of entire syllabus here means for every topic written in the syllabus, you will have some 500 to 1000 page write-up available for you. So again, both for paper 1 and for paper 2, we have 10 units, we have 15 units. So what we do at next IAS, we will take all individually. There are lot of thing overlap in paper 1 as well as paper 2. So if you see the syllabus, did they distribute you syllabus? Okay. So if you have seen the syllabus, again you will notice that in paper 1 there are 3 topics: politics and society, religion and society, system of kinship. Verbatim same topic is given in paper 2 also, and many times people take it along with each other. However, we will separately cover because paper 2 orientation is different, paper 1 orientation is different. So everything which is written in syllabus, we will have a detailed discussion in the classroom, followed by the detail, you can say, write up or dictation in the classroom. That is something which is mandatory. Every day we are going to follow that. So first and foremost thing you will be assured of is that in institute nothing will be left for you for self reading. I may not provide you any handout कि ये topic आप घर से कर लेना. No, I am responsible for taking care of everything which is given in the syllabus of the topic. Now this is something which is what a bare minimum, but we don't basically stop at bare minimum. So what we do extra is that after completion of every unit, again there is an assignment. Assignment will have somewhere around 5 to 10 question on that unit. So how many units we have discussed? We have paper 1 will have 10 units, paper 2 will have 15 units, है ना? But in paper 1, if you see, there is unit 1, unit 2. Now unit 4 is sociological thinker, social thinker, which has 6 thinker in it, which is one of the very important part of a sociological understanding of paper 1. And then so what we did, we have taken all thinker as an individual chapter or unit itself. So for paper 1, we have assignments. Assignment is what? Again, here some of the questions will be given and you have to, based on the discussion in the classroom, write the answer and get it evaluated. This is not test. You can see the notebook and write an answer. You can write an answer without looking at the notebook based on your memory, based on your understanding. So for paper 1, we have 15 assignments. Why 15? If you count all of them, it will be 15. 6 are these and then rest of them are this, right? So it will somewhere around 9 plus 6 is 15. And for paper 2, of course, every unit have 1. So we have 15 assignment. And then, as I mentioned, we start every time our syllabus or sociology discussion with NCERT. So एक assignment आपका NCERT का भी होगा. So assignment means nothing but some questions given, you have to write an answer based on understanding. So this is second part, right? Again, why this part is important? Because ultimately examination is all about your articulation of a particular, you can say, questions answer within framework of 250 word, right? So we have to learn this approach by constant rehearsal and practice. Just imagine you are performing in a drama. So if you are performing in a drama, do you need before actual basically play the rehearsal of that so that you can memorize your dialogues, you can memorize your line? If you are performing a dance, again, do you need to have a rehearsal before that, right? So when we are performing in the examination of civil services main, we needed rehearsal in the form of assignment. So here we learn to write answers, which is one of the most important exercise in the preparation, because without answer writing you may get good marks in subjects like physics, subject like maths, but without answer writing neither you will get good marks in general studies nor in essay and definitely not in optional subject like sociology. So answer writing is at the most important, right? So this is second part we will take care of. Third part we always basically emphasize upon is the discussion of past year question. So discussion of PYQs. Almost for more than 30 years PYQs we used to discuss, even more of that, right? We don't count the years. If we have any previous year question on this topic, we will discuss it in class after completion of every unit. So we will complete unit first. All the previous year questions which has been asked, we will try to covered in class. And if some of the answer we find it difficult to write, so we will have a basically write up of that answer also dictated in class. Only those which are find to be difficult. All of them you will find is easily doable. So many of the answers we don't need to basically write, but yes, some we need to have a framing required. So we'll have a framework of that answer covered in the classroom. So discussion of all previous year questions which are asked from that topic, will provide a workbook for that as well for you to solve it at your own end, and we will also discuss in class, right? Then after doing that, you have covered basic things. Now how do you know that you have learned how to write a answer? This is one part you have known. You have known that I am able to solve all the PYQs. And also in this only we'll provide you solved 5-year PYQ booklet, right? But how will you certain, or how will you get certainty that in examination also I'll write within the time frame of 3 hours? तो मैं कैसे लिख पाऊँ? मैंने एक आंसर मैं अच्छा लिख रहा हूँ in 1 hour or 2 hour, but I have to write fast in examination. So after every 5 minute completion will have a class test. So total units are actually 25, 10 plus 5. So how many tests will be there? So 25 units के हम लोग 5 टेस्ट लेंगे. These are the class tests in which we will also attempt to learn, and we will have a prize also for the person who top in this test in the classroom, right? So this will create a sense of competitiveness in the class itself among the student to excel and perform better with other students. So here after every 5th unit completed, we'll have class tests, and these are the 5 class tests. We can tell you in advance the tentative dates also when you join the lecture, that first test will be of unit 1 to unit 4. ये पहला टेस्ट होगा क्योंकि unit 4 is very lengthy in itself, all the thinkers are there. And then second test will be of unit 6 to 10 of paper 1. Then third test will be of unit 1 to 5 of paper 2, unit 6 to 10 of paper 2, and unit 11 to 15 of paper 2. So these are the 5 classroom tests which is done in a simulated manner. 3 घंटा मिलेगा आपको inside the classroom, and you have to write 10 particular questions answer, right? UPSC में 20 आता है, but this is for practice, so it is a beginning. So you will be learning how important it is, the answer writing part. Once you have done that, now very important part, we have completed exhaustively everything which is needed for us to excel. So then fifth part will be the synopsis and summary making. So imagine you have revised your subject, and tomorrow you have to appear for the civil service mains examination in sociology. And now how many topic you have to read for tomorrow's examination? 25 topics, 25 units you have to read. Can you read it in one day, all the topic? Answer is, it is very difficult. However, you can also have a option to read it in one day itself by making a entire summary of your class notes or class discussion. So what we have done, we have prepared a 100-page summary which will be provided to you in a printed form in 30 pages, condensed one. This is a detailed one, this is a further condensed one. Matlab 30 pages, that's it. Entire sociology covered, paper 1, paper 2. And this will be understood easily to those who have been attending the classes, because it will have lot of basically mnemonics or lot of abbreviation to understand what are the pointers we have to write, right? So this will be our efforts. So we'll provide you a summary note of 100 pages each of paper 1 and paper 2. ये दोनों के 100 pages की summary, मतलब entire sociology is covered in this. And second is a 30 pages consolidated summary in a printed form as and when we proceed toward the completion of our syllabus. But usually it will be provided at the end of the classes. Jaise few days back we completed our sociology optional subject, so we have provided to all the student the summary one, right? So it is a consolidated summary of 30 pages. अब 30 पेज आप एक दिन में पढ़ सकते हो. Can you read 30 pages in one day before examination? 30 क्या 100 भी पढ़ लोगे अगर पैनिक वाली सिचुएशन रही, अगर उसी समय पढ़ना चालू किया है तो. So you can easily read multiple time the same basically class discussion, class notes with the help of this summary or synopsis. मान लीजिए you are not able to understand one or two mnemonics or abbreviation, you can open your notebook and read only those which you are able to basically, which you are not able to retain, right? So this will help in excellent revision, because ultimately syllabus is going to be very much burdensome, because you don't have to read sociology only before the examination, you have to read GS also, you have to write some essays also. So naturally the syllabus is going to be lengthiest when you prepare. So if sociology gave you some sense of relief that only 30 pages I have to read, you will have a basically relaxation in your mind, and relaxed mind can perform much better than a stressed and panic mind before examination. अगर एग्जाम के पहले you have a slightest of the impression that I have not revised this topic, no matter how simple that topic is, examination में your performance will be affected by it, right? So we take care of this revision also in the form of this synopsis we will be providing. Fifth part. The sixth part in next IAS will be that many of the institutes only take responsibility of the completion of the syllabus and the topic, and they will basically do the see off to all those students. But I strongly personally believe that unless I will prepare you thoroughly and completely for the examination, I am not doing justice to the preparation or the basically help in preparation of the candidate. So what we have done, we also include in the same fees itself a test series program in which 8 tests are there, and here 4 tests will be sectional test and 4 tests will be full length. Only thing is that this will be available every year to the student in the month of June to August. Matlab, if you join on 1st May, your syllabus is going to be complete on October month, so you have to wait for another 5-6 months to write it. You can write the previous one if you want, but it will be a one-time test series available which is included in your, you can say, foundation course program itself. So here, after writing 8 tests, in single test we will give you somewhere around the 28 क्वेश्चन के आसपास, राइट? सो अगर आप 28 क्वेश्चन एक टेस्ट पेपर में कर रहे हो, सो यू हैव 8 टेस्ट पेपर, हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस यू हैव सीन एंड अटेम्प्ट एंड राइट एन आंसर फॉर. सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी exhaustive revision once again before the actual mains exam. इसके बाद hardly anything in examination will be any surprise for you, because you have done exhaustive form of preparation by doing all the previous, because in sociology and any optional subject previous year questions found some kind of repetition or some kind of resemblance, so you will be in a position, right? After all that, the material we are going to provide you in all this will be that here we will provide you a booklet for reading, that is for paper 1 and paper 2, so that you need not to buy any form of books in the market. All the best books available in the market are compiled and condensed in the form of this, basically paper 1 and paper 2, and it is available only for in-house, so you will not find it available outside in its original form. Original copy will be given to the student here itself, right? Second thing you will be getting is a workbook. What we called as workbook is a basically previous year questions related booklets, which we always carry once we complete a unit to discuss all the PYQs. Third you will be provided is the solved PYQ of last 5 years with the material only, so that even if you are reading it, you will get an idea how to write an answer in a proper structured manner, how to incorporate some flowchart diagram data in the answer, again to make it more lucrative, to make it more basically appealing. Then apart from that, you will be also getting one dictionary. Now I have found a problem that whenever a student start reading newspaper first time in civil service, they find many new words or jargons which basically disturb their entire meaning and understanding of sentence. So what they have to do, they have to open a English to basically language dictionary or English to English dictionary to understand. Unfortunately for optional subject there is no such basically thing available in the market. If they are available, they are basically mostly written by the Western scholars with no Indian example or Indian context and understanding. So what we have done is, in the sociology you will read some class notes. Suppose you are facing some difficulty, so you can simply open the dictionary just like an English dictionary, and alphabetically you can search this word in the dictionary and get a simplest understanding of that particular jargon, yeah, any kind of sociological technical word, and that is very helpful in preparing some of the topic as well. So that is also provided to you. Apart from that, the synopsis of paper 1 and paper 2 and consolidated synopsis. Either institute provide you in the form of soft copy or hard copy based on the basically decision they have, but all this will be in the hard copy format, right? So these are the things we will basically make you available with, and again these are all included in our foundation program, right? So this is ensuring that you have to do nothing at your end except study, right? One more thing which is given to the student again is the current affair. Now sociology in general do not have too much of current affair in the subject. Again 15 to 20% of the basically question in examination may get influence from current affair, but they will never ask you directly the current affair, but still it is important. Just say if they ask you about some of the aspects related to problems faced by women in the era of globalization, yeah, role of AI on Indian society. So these kinds of questions required some references of the current information which add more value to it. So every year in the month of August first week itself, I usually upload entire year current topic which you can link it or write it in your examination, which is according to syllabus, because many things occur which are not related to sociology option, but many things are directly overlapping with sociology option subject, so we'll be focusing on that part. So this I will provide every year, and past year current affair will also be provided from the year 2021 onwards. तो 2021 से लेकर के 26 तक का तो आपको अभी ही मिल जाएगा when you join in your Telegram channel, the soft copy of it, and when you are appearing for 2027 mains examination in the month of August, even if you are not appearing, it will be uploaded on your Telegram channel so that you can able to basically incorporate that by reading it in your answer, right? So this is all about the thing we provide in our optional subject course. Now again I am opening the platform for all of you to clarify any query, concerns, doubt you have related to preparation or anything you have in your mind related to sociology option subjects. Just give me a moment. So I'll take up some of the queries of online student. So again, online student have some queries. So please 5-year question sociology option material. Uploading will not be basically possible because that is a copyrighted material of next IAS. So again, this will be given to you in a form of a printed booklet only, right? Then there is Pratiksha's question, Vedant's question, then Tanya has question, why not for online student? Again Tanya, online student have basically not being provided that free NCERT lecture for the simple reason that they have to do lot of, you can say technical, you can say specification or technical, you can say trouble for enrolling them first, then providing them lecture access, and then whether they join or not they have to revoke that. So it will be very cumbersome. That is why we reserve it for offline, because it is easy. It is under my supervision, so I can allow you to sit in the offline class. Online may there will be a person who need to check entire detail of yours, giving you permission to allow access and then revoking it. It will be very cumbersome. That is one reason that NCERT courses are not available to everyone online. Otherwise we would have uploaded it on YouTube itself, right? So that is one reason which institute have a prerogative to make. Then there is another question, how class test for online student? Yes, so this is one good question, that we will operate optional in dual mode, hybrid mode जिसको हम बोलते हैं. One is the offline mode and other is the online mode. Now many of the students often have a concern, like if offline student has any confusion, they can clarify it there and then itself. So what about online student? So online student every fortnight, matlab in every 15 days, based on the requirement of the online student, we will decide a mutual basically day based on our consensus to have a Zoom session. This is always going to be there, Zoom session. And in the classroom itself, I share my personal contact detail to all the student. Anytime, मान लीजिए I am not having patience to wait for another 15 days for Zoom session. So I will permit them to have a discussion on the phone itself if it is feasible after the class. So that is for online student. For online student, how they are going to write the test, as she has asked a question. So we have developed one of the very advanced application for writing test, in which we will open that platform for you to write test paper and upload it here, and after evaluation it will be uploaded on your student portal. So there is a dedicated sociology optional student portal. Any basically thing which is distributed to the offline student will be provided in the form of soft copy or PDF to online student only through this portal, and it is real time portal. So again, you need not to worry how you are going to basically write the test. Timely test evaluation will be also there, timely assignment uploadation. So not just test, you have to also have your assignment online student, that will be also uploaded and get it evaluated within a span of 15 days. Deadline is there, so we will provide that, right? So there is no need to worry on that part. Now, how should I cover the NCERT? You have to come to Delhi to join the session. That is the only basically option I could see as of now, Tanya. Otherwise, you can enroll, and if you have some difficulty, so you can let us know. Haji. So if you have any query, feel free to ask your questions related to optional subject you have in mind, right? Because the purpose of conducting this orientation session was to clear your queries, concerns and doubt, or any apprehension related to sociology option. Rather basically than just me speaking every time and you are just listening, you have to also have a opportunity to clarify your query. तो कोई आपके doubt है, or all doubts are clear, you got enlightenment after 40 minutes discussion. So whichever way, if you have any concern, this is what my problem behind basically, or which is one of the major reason for me not opting for option subject, or I am basically having some concern. Ji. Society is evolving. Okay. No, again for optional subject, sociology, as I mentioned, one good part of sociology optional subject is that it is going to discuss various concepts. Now, no matter how fast it is evolving, society is evolving, some basic concepts remain the same. For instance, how fast physics is evolving, the Newtonian mechanics is same, law of gravitation is same. Likewise, sociology also has some basic framework or concept which is same. About the basically dynamic aspect or the robust aspect that we ensure to incorporate in our class. So as you have asked that how to connect the dots between the topics which are given in the syllabus with the current happening or robust or dynamic aspect of the class, in every class notes you will see that it will be an upgradation or basically updation with incorporation of current or some changing aspect. Because how UPSC appreciate a candidate is that not about their ability to memorize, but their ability to understand. So once you have understood a topic, are you able to connect it with the current happening or not, is what they would like to see. And based on that only, a person is getting higher score. So this year one of our student has scored 302 marks, and he was the first basically time appearing in the mains examination. He was the first basically attempter, and he scored 302 marks. And before examination, trust me, he was having lot of confusion and fear related to the topic, related to the question ki sir, I am not able to retain many of the information. It is not the case that he don't able to recall the content, but in examination too much of burden is there. Some fear or some kind of panic mode is basically created in the mind ki I am not able to recall anything. So after the examination I interacted with him. So his answer was that I only write what I have understood in the discussion in the classroom. I may not able to reproduce exactly the class notes. And he scored one of the highest marks in sociology this year. So you can understand that sociology is more about understanding and the connection with current affairs. Just to give further example to it, जैसे in 1897, there was a sociologist named Emile Durkheim. Emile Durkheim gave a theory on suicide. कितने साल हो गए 1897 को? More than 100 years, can we say that? 1997 में 100 years, and you can have 26 year more added to it, 29 year more added to it. So almost like this theory in his book French Study of Suicide, this was the name of his book. He gave. Now, he gave that 4 reasons of suicide. And again, these 4 reasons was high integration. So his argument was that people ended their life when they are too much connected, emotionally involved with someone, right? So a soldier sacrificing his life at the border is somewhat, he called it as a killing of oneself, knowing that I am going to be killed, they will join that military operation. So why they ready to get themselves martyred is because they love their country unparalleledly, and due to this high integration they are ready to sacrifice their life. Otherwise, if I gave a person who is roaming on the street even highest amount of money, 1 CR, 2 CR, and ask him to end his life for the country, he will think thousands of times, because there is lack of affection, love. But the soldiers have it, and due to that, he called this as suicide due to high integration. Suicide also occurred due to low integration, according to him. Integration matlab your love and connection with someone or society as a whole. So when you are totally cut off from the society, you are not connected, you have no integration or connection with society, again you also commit suicide. And nowadays when you see, most of the suicides are committed by students who are preparing for NEET examination, who are preparing for JEE Advanced, who are preparing for civil services. Why? Because while preparation, they completely disconnect themselves from their friend circle, from their family, and they are living isolated and alone in their room. So they are not connected, and that is what led them to commit suicide. Then another reason he says for suicide is high regulation. In some society, if regulation is very high, regulation here means too much of, you can say, law and law related enforcement. Again, people often get frustrated कि हर बार I am being asked to follow the rules, instruction, as if I am a robot, I am not a human, I have no freedom. So they ended their life. So most of the people who live in a dictatorial regime, like some North Korean, often reported to end their life because they say that living in North Korea is just living like an insect. We want to liberate ourselves by ending our life. So high regulation. Low regulation के कारण भी suicide होता है. When there is no regulation, मतलब there is no law and order. Take for example a country where government has fallen and there is no ruling party, there is no police, there is no army. So people are living in chaos. COVID-19 time period, when there was no rule and order, when you are following some rule, then also you are punished. When you are not following some rule, then also you are punished. So similar low regulation situation leads to suicide. And he gave a unique name to all this suicide also. So he called it anomic suicide. High regulation ko he called it fatalistic suicide. Now, he called low integration as egoist suicide and altruistic suicide. And he defined suicide as an act of killing oneself, right? ये उसकी theory थी. I am trying to give you in a short, basically form. Now, if you have understood this theory, tell me that if a person is ending their life because the basically business or crop failure occur, yeah, again business failure occur. I am talking of some farmer's suicide. So why did farmer commit suicide? Now if you read a report that XYZ Vidarbha farmer has committed suicide, suppose hypothetically. So here you may put it based on your understanding to the topic of low integration as well as high regulation. Farmer think कि सारे नियम मेरे पे लगे हुए हैं. All the bank EMI I have to pay on timely basis. Vijay Mallya and other kind of person can free themselves by running away from the country. I am being asked to pay a very petty amount, which is basically waive off for many of the businessmen. So on me only, high regulation is there. I don't want to live in this country or in this life. I end my life. Many of the farmers have this reason to commit suicide. Some farmers says that government, when they have to hold hand of the farmers in the difficult time of crop failure, they have given no assistance and help. Government don't love the farmer and farmer have no connection or love for the government. They end up their life. So any suicide you can put here as this. Again, where would you basically put Johar? Johar suna hai? In earlier medieval time, many queens whose king or husband martyred their life at the battlefront preferred to end their life by jumping into a burning fire. And this is also a suicide, popularly referred as Johar, where all the women of the palace ended their life by burning themselves, immolating themselves. Where would you put Johar as a suicide? Which category? So again, first will be the altruistic, because they are in so much of love to their country, to their palace, to their husband, that they realize that their life is meaningless after the death of. यहाँ पे कोई उन्हें मार नहीं रहा था. They are themselves doing it, altruistic. Some might also say कि it is probably due to the too much of regulation on them, which is making them as a honorable women if they end their life. But preferably it is altruistic. समझ में? So this is what connecting the dot you are referring to, and this is what we do in every lecture, connecting it with real life example to make you understand that this theory might be old, but its application never get old because that is relevant to the present dates. Hanji, any query, any concern you have before you opt for the optional subject? That syllabus completion is mostly, I was earlier insisting on the student. So it took us on an ideal term around 120 lectures, 120, 100 to 120 lectures, which is somewhere around 4 months till 4.5 months. But often when we say so, it is our understanding. If some student have some queries concern, it might sometime exceed, but this time I'll make sure that we will be completing on the time. So when you join the lectures, we will give you a detailed list of the topics which will be covered on which day and tentative date for completion also in advance itself. If there is some extension, it will be of 1 or 2 days or maximum 1 week, not beyond that, for the simple reason that sometime as a teacher also we carried away. Since this one student has asked, because I was of strong opinion that if one person is asking a doubt, it is not the doubt of one person. He or she is just courageous enough to ask. Many people are too shy to ask it in class. So clearing his doubt is clearing many other people's doubt. And sometimes this might take some extra hours also in our classroom discussion. So this time I'll make sure that I'll basically clarify all their doubts within the time frame, and if still there is a doubt, we will use some extra lectures on Sunday rather than disturbing our daily routine. मान लीजिए कोई topic है and 5 or 6 of the student could not grasp it easily. Yeah, many students could not grasp it easily. So that week we will compensate that with extra lecture on Sunday. So our lectures will be from Monday to again Saturday. Sunday will be no classes, and again on some Saturday also we might have no classes. We'll be conveying to you in advance, but majorly this will be a 6 days a week. However, if someday one topic as per our schedule is not completed, so we might try to take up that Sunday also. So be prepared for it, and in the 4-month time. So if we start on 1st of May, so from 1st May till let's say 15th of May, our target is to complete entire NCERT of 11th grade and 12th grade, which is 2 booklets here and 2 booklets here in a exhaustive manner, and this will be helpful in our sociological basically understanding. For next 15 days, we will be having a short break to comprehend, grasp and understand, and from the most basic, from the 1st of June, we'll start with Unit 1, Chapter 1. Now, one question will be there, why there is a 15-day break? So, one reason for giving break is that this is the time for prelims. 24th of May, you have a prelims examination. And this time, many of our students came to visit us for obvious reason that some required some kind of, you can say, resolution of some queries, questions. Some are in stress, some are in some anxious state. So we have to take care of them as well. And after 24th, they will also have some kind of, you can say, orientation needed for their mains program as well, right? So this is our basically as of now program, that from 1st June we'll start from very first chapter. Usually what we do, we start from 1st of June itself, the classes, but that time we start with NCERT. So I'm just saving some more time with NCERT. So if we believe our sociology actually begin from 1st of June, so rest assured 30th of October or before that will be winding up, right? Maximum it could extend agar hua to in first week of November, as I mentioned, 1 or 2 days or 1 week, right? It will not go beyond that. So rest assured कि by the first week of November you will be completely free from your sociology classroom, basically attending, right? Will be winding up. So 4 and 5 month आप मान के चलिए, June, July, August, September and then October, 4.5 months. Saturday, Sunday will be off, so we will be having no class. Timing will be 3 to 5:30 p.m. every day as of now, right? But if institute allow us, we would like to increase 15-20 minutes in that before or after based on the consensus, but this is the timing for first month for sure, right? If we get permission from the institute, we would like to have 2:30 to 5:30, but abhi I have not received any confirmation. So this is what the classroom timing every day, 2.5 hours from 3 to 5:30. Okay. हाँ जी. So again, for those students, first thing is that it is always a blessing in disguise that you have to get an opportunity to complete a class back to back. Why I am saying it? Because in UPSC mains examination, again, our reason for joining classes is not just that we want some assistance in the basically topic understanding, but also we need to develop a stamina to sit at one particular place for 6 hours. When I was writing my first mains, I found that some of the students who were not very habitual of basically the, you can say, sitting for 6 hours, तो पहले 3 घंटे में ही they got exhausted, and after second paper, after first paper, when they were appearing for second paper, after 5-10 minutes they were lying down on the floor. Why? Because they can't sit so long. 6 घंटा बैठना is itself a difficult task. So that you will develop while sitting in the class, right? If you have a difficulty, ki nahi, I want it a break, so we'll request the institute to change your batch also if it is feasible. Otherwise, what you can do is your classroom perhaps will be 11:30 to 2 p.m. Yeah, 2:30 p.m. So you have still 30 minutes to do your lunch and every other thing and be there at basically classroom at 3, because it will save your everyday commutation time. Coming to classroom is a big challenge itself. You have to decide which dress I should wear today. It should not be repeated. I should not look the same and all. So this will save you कि 2 बार आपको नहीं सोचना पड़ेगा. Otherwise morning में अलग सोच के आओगे, evening में अलग सोच के आओगे, and it will be commutation time consumption also. Every minute counts in preparation. So that will save. So whichever way you are which is comfortable to you, either changing of your GS batch or I would recommend back to back करना is always easier, right? Because once you come to the classroom, attend the entire class, go back home, and now only task is to complete and revise everything. ठीक? Any other concerns? हाँ जी. Conceptual ज़्यादा है, factual तो बहुत ही कम है इसमें. मतलब in terms of, you can say, facts or information, it is only taking 15 to 20%, which is only when you are linking the topic with current affair. बस यहीं पे थोड़ा सा फैक्ट्स आता है कि आपने ये थ्योरी, जैसे मैंने आपको थ्योरी समझाई, दिस इज कंसेप्ट. वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड इट, यू कैन कनेक्ट इट विद करंट अफेयर. सो करंट अफेयर के लिए आपको फैक्ट्स याद रखना पड़ेगा कि विच एरिया फार्मर सुसाइड हैज अकर्ड, या व्हाट आर द अदर फॉर्म्स ऑफ सुसाइड हैपनिंग, व्हाई द स्टूडेंट्स आर कमिटिंग. तो ये आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन किसी सोर्स से याद रखना पड़ेगा. अदरवाइज इट इज नॉट मोर बेसिकली फैक्चुअल, रेदर इट इज मोर कॉन्सेप्चुअल. 80 और 85% कॉन्सेप्चुअल है. हाँ जी. That's very correct. Huh. So again, this happens with everyone. Since optional we are attending every day, we are used to. We go back home and revise and all. But once optional is over, now there is a big gap of more than 6 months. November में या October last में हमारा option खत्म हुआ. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, you are not going to open the optional subject. And then in the June, you have to appear for mains. You start writing answers and test series. So how to keep updated, how to keep engaged with the optional subject. For that reason only, we are going to provide you in the end only the summary page. You just go through every 1 week, matlab on every Sunday, just casually, you can open these 30 pages for revision and try to recall everything which is given in this 30 pages. If you are not able to recall, you can point out this area I am not able to consolidate or revise, right? So what should be an ideal approach for a student who want to clear in the very first attempt itself is, let's say you are doing GS lectures, and after doing GS lecture which is tentatively 3 hours, and then you are opting for optional, it will also take around 2.5 hours, but including commutation time coming and going, you can consider it 3 hours. Now if you are doing 2 classes per day, you will have very limited time to go for standard books. So what you can do is, whatever discussion made in the classroom, whatever dictation made in classroom, go back home and read and revise them multiple times, so much that it will be inserted in your mind the very same day. So 3 घंटा घर जाकर के आप GS पढ़िए, proportional to the time you have spent in the classroom. 3 घंटा optional. How much time it has become? 12 hours per day. After 12 hours, you have to spare for 1 hour. For what? Newspaper. So this is a bare minimum routine of a student every day. And if you follow it consistently for 1 year or 8 months, I can give you an assurance that you will be qualified the very same year. But if you are already in some college, again you are in first year, you are in second year or third year, you have a liberty to have some relaxation in this routine. But if you are here, see, हमेशा ध्यान रखिए, भूखा शेर ही बेसिकली शिकार करता है, पेट भरा हुआ शेर कभी शिकार करने नहीं जाएगा. You will be surprised to study that lion, if he has hunted one basically animal for almost 2-3 days, he never goes on hunting. An average sleep time of lion is 15 to 16 hours per day if he is completely basically filled his stomach or belly. So again, there is a need for hunger, there is a need for madness to qualify this examination. This qualification of examination will never happen to a person in their comfort zone. So sometime we have to get out from our comfort zone, enter into a zone of fear and growth so that we can excel in our preparation. So that is sounding very difficult, but if you start doing it, again it will become part and parcel of your life, because again you have to understand that this basically approach will help you not only to gain confidence but also have a certainty in your result also, so that you need not to spare any more year for this preparation. You will be realizing after following this routine for 9 months that if you qualify, well and good, you might have a great chance. God forbid, if you don't qualify, you know that I can't do beyond that. So this is my maximum limit. So even if you don't want to pursue civil services examination after that, you will have a sense of satisfaction that I gave my 100%. I have not cheated, I have not betrayed my own cause. So in both cases, you will be very content, satisfied and happy after the preparation. So that is what you have to follow. But yes, it is not that easy, it is challenging. That is why not every person after graduation has even think of preparation. All your friends, if you tell them that you are preparing for civil services, they started giving you respect much before you qualified. What is the reason behind this? This is the reason. Hard working person is always get the respect, and ultimately it is the survival of fittest. You will be surprised to know that Charles Darwin never write this quote. This quote is given by a sociologist, again Herbert Spencer, who applied Darwin approach in the basically sociology and gave this famous quote. Many people attribute it to Charles Darwin, who is founder of or writer of Origin of Species. That's the point. So this is all from my side. If you have any further query, feel free to ask. Please. Any other questions anyone have? Difficulties in terms of basically understanding will not be there, I can assure you that. Again, it is one of the most simplest subject. Whatever you see in your surrounding, caste system you see, it is syllabus. Religion you see, it is syllabus. Families, kinships, marriage and other aspects of the society you have in syllabus. Again, politics, what you are seeing right now in the political sphere of India is in syllabus. Social movement, farmer movement हुआ, again citizenship amendment act के बाद जो movement हुआ, they are all part of the syllabus. So if you ask me honestly, you will not face any basically complicated difficulty in understanding the optional subject. Difficulty कहाँ आती है for the student is when they start writing the answer, because answer writing is the crucial aspect of sociology optional subject that will be requiring your dedicated effort, and we will do that in class. So with rehearsal, with practice, with rigorous efforts, you can easily solve. So it is just like answer writing is just like learning a bicycle. First time you will face lot of difficulty which will shatter your confidence कि मेरे से तो नहीं चल पाएगी, but after 2-3 months of rehearsal or rigorous practice you will yourself see that you are riding a very good bicycle. आप कैंची चला रहे हो, फिर हाथ छोड़ के चला रहे हो, सीट पे खड़े होके चला रहे हो. Once you have learned how to do the basic aspects of basically riding bike which is balancing, है ना, तो वैसे आंसर राइटिंग में हो जाएगा. That is going to be extremely helpful. Sociology is not just going to help you here. Again, you remember that how many civil servants are there in India right now? Around 4,000 to 5,000 in all the states. Some senior to junior level IAS officer. 5,000 के आसपास होंगे all India service. How many names you are able to recall? Very few of them. Why? Because they qualify by taking some other optional subject which gave them good marks. But when they join the services, they are not able to develop some kind of confidence among the people for approaching their policies and program. So society and knowledge of sociology will help you to understand which policy I will draw will be acceptable to people, which policy I will formulate will be outrightly rejected by the people. And that is very important for a successful bureaucrat. They need not to enforce their rule, they have to ensure that people embrace their rule without much resistance. Least resistance से उनका rule बन जाए. So they are very successful, those who have familiarity and knowledge of sociology, which will help them to become a better civil servant also. After civil service and during civil service, answer writing would be, as I was answering your question, will be difficult. See? Lot of overlap, right? So that I have discussed in our previous basically orientation session also. So if I just gave you some type of basically overlapping, so here you will be finding that this is GS paper 1 in which entire sociology found overlap. जैसे society chapter of paper 1 is completely from sociology. Then there are world history, many topics like Renaissance will be covering in the class. The French Revolution, the American Revolution, Industrial Revolution is part of sociological understanding. Then many of the political philosophies which are covered in paper 1, that is communism, socialism, capitalism, are part of paper 1. Not just in GS paper 1. GS paper 2 will have these overlap. Pressure group. In essay, definitely it will be overlapping because nowadays quotation based essays are being asked, and quotations are mostly taken from the sociologist only. And even if it is not from sociologist, you will understand how to dissect multidimensionally the particular quotation, right? जैसे अगर मैं आपसे बोलता हूँ, just since you have asked, I am just taking some liberty to explain you. If I say good fences make good neighbor, this is a essay topic, right? Good fences make good neighbor. क्या समझे आप इसे? इसको बोलते हैं बाड़ या बाउंड्री. अच्छी बाउंड्री अच्छे पड़ोसी बनाते हैं. But exact meaning of it is that if we have clear boundaries, it will improve our relationship. And when you write an essay, you have to follow two approaches. One is supporting this argument, other is opposing this argument. We will discuss in the sociology lecture itself that say what does good fences make good neighbor. So when you read polity, you will hear about separation of power. Separation of power is there in executive. We'll discuss अगर आपको इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं तो legislature and judiciary. Is constitution has some clear separation of power to a certain extent, if not absolutely, then yes. If separation of power is there, executive know what is their job, legislature know what is their job, judiciary know what is their job, which improve interrelationship among these three organs. So good fencing make good neighbor. However, good fencing, sociology will teach you, does not necessarily make good neighbor. For instance, caste system in India develop good fencing. Jaise upper caste will have some kind of distancing from the people who in past were treated as untouchable. So this is very good fencing. They don't interact or touch each other or basically engage with each other. But does it improve relation among them? Not necessarily. So it has created some kind of tension, or you can say conflict, among the people who are identified as upper caste and so-called lower caste. And this is good fences does not necessarily make good relation or neighbor. So this is another interpretation. Then I'll give you multiple other example here from different dimension. It is from polity. Again, it is from sociology without using a term from basically sociology optional. So that is how we will learn. In essay, lot of overlap. In GS3 also there is lot of overlap. This is GS paper 3. These are the topic. Land reforms. हमारे syllabus में paper 2 में land reform है. Again, comprehensive development strategies emerging from the basically or issues emerging from it. Development and spread of extremism. Naxalism is a topic in paper 2. And then what are the changes in the industrial policy? In paper 2 we will discuss its impact of globalization, liberalization, privatization along with industrial policy in society. Right? Paper 4 में जो आपके ethical values concerns हैं, we are part and parcel of discussion of it because many of them are associated with sociological ideas, right? So when we discuss about your basic utilitarianism in our topic, when we discuss about many of the other values, families playing a role in generating a sense of right and wrong, what is morality, what is ethics, are part and parcel of sociological discussion. So these are the basically thing, right? Now one more thing before we wind up again is what is the, you can say, success rate of sociology. Many of the students have it, so I have borrowed it from the UPSC website itself. If you see entire basically years of basically 2014 till 2021, यही data हमारे पास है अभी तक. Again, if you see sociology optional, it has a consistent basically success. ये वो लोग हैं those who are already qualified. These are not those people who appeared in interview. Again, these are the number of candidates who are recommended, they are number of candidates who appeared, and almost इसका data जो रहता है 8 to 12% के बीच में fluctuate करता है. Somewhere it is lowest, which is 8.1 or 8.5, highest is 11.7, near to 12%. है ना? Again, if I ask you to see it in other optional subject, so in other optional subject there is lot of fluctuation. किसी समय 3% रहा, किसी समय 7%, 8% हो गया, किसी समय 2% रहा, 8% हो गया, 9% हो गया. So it is very uncertain. Sociology in all is having consistent basically selection or success rate. That is why sociology is evergreen optional subject. You will not expect 400 marks out of 500 in sociology, but at the same time you will also not expect 150 marks out of 500 in sociology. You will always, even if you write whatever your own knowledge is in mains examination, you will end up scoring 200 to 250. But 250 हमारा टारगेट नहीं, हमारा टारगेट है 300 to 320, so that we'll have some basically push in our basically overall score. So this is another one. This is a syllabus we used to discuss in our first lecture itself, and again as I mentioned, all the overlap with other optional subject is also there, right? Now again one more thing, that some of you might want to prepare it on your own without joining the classes. Sociology is one of the easiest option. Only problem is that you need constant mentors to have a basically hand holding, because if we start learning some topic wrongly, then it will be very difficult. But nevertheless, again, if you want to study out on your own, so for paper 1 there is a reference book I would suggest, it's of sociological theory George Ritzer. या तो ये ले लीजिए, या if you are comfortable you can have Anthony Giddens book. या तो एंथोनी गिडेंस की बुक या अगेन जॉर्ज रिट्जर की पेपर 1, दोनों में से कोई एक लेना है, राइट, विच विल कवर साइजेबल पोर्शन ऑफ योर जीएस पेपर 1, राइट. सेकेंड वन इन दिस इज, अगर आप क्लासरूम कर रहे हैं तो आपको ये सब कुछ नहीं करने की जरूरत है, बट इफ यू आर स्टडिंग बाय योर ओन सेल्फ, सो सेल्फ स्टडी के लिए दिस इज utmost important, right. Second in this is for paper 1 only, this was what I was referring to, orange cover Harlambus book, for knowing your orientation. This is a short one having basically small size. ये थोड़ा bulky है. So if you are studying it on your own, this is also Harlambus only. Same author has written, but this is a basically abridged version, shorter version. This is a lengthier version. Whichever way you will find it comfortable. If you ask me, I would recommend कि if you are studying on your own, this is a good reference for paper 1 only. So two book I have suggested you for paper 1, George Ritzer and Harlambus. ठीक? It will cover majority of the topic given in unit 10. Then there is another book for paper 2. Paper 2 is Indian Sociology. So here you might refer or rely on Fundamental of Sociology by Vidya Bhushan and Sachdev or Ram Ahuja, Society in India. If you ask me which book is more suitable for a student, I would recommend Vidya Bhushan and Sachdev. Majority of the topic of paper 1 and paper 2 are fall under the basically discussion of the content in this book. So you can refer that. Apart from that, for paper 2, another book is needed for some of the scholars or sociologists. So that book इन दोनों में से एक ही लेनी है, मतलब या तो ये ले लीजिए, more or less same impact will be there. Then another book is basically Indian Sociological Thought or Handbook of Indian Sociology. If you have to buy, दोनों में से एक लेना है, I would recommend the B.K. Nagla Book of Indian Sociological Thought. Author name is B.K. Nagla. Right? So और यहाँ पे वीना दास has written a book Handbook of Indian Sociology. So दोनों में से एक लेना है तो ये. So what I have recommended to you are 4 books, which is for paper 1, if you are studying it on your own, which is George Ritzer, Sociological Theory, and Harlambus blue cover, bulkier one. For paper 2, I have recommended you a book which is again Vidya Bhushan and Sachdev, and another book is you can say B.K. Nagla, Indian Sociological Thought. ये 4 book लेना है, right? One more which is very good book only if you have read all of them for revision purpose. मतलब it should not be your concept builder, but if you have already understand the concept and basically have familiarity, so Essential Sociology of Nitin Sangwan sir. You may not able to grasp it if you are reading it for first time, but definitely it is a good read for someone who has completed the topic. Right? So this is what you can have. Apart from that, there is one more source I am recommending you called as eGyan Kosh. This is a website of IGNOU. IGNOU is again Indira Gandhi National Open University, in which you have to search some of the material. Suppose you have a syllabus of sociology and some topic you are not able to get some understanding from these book reading. I would recommend rather than buying a bulkier IGNOU material, what you can do, just log on to website egyankosh.com. है ना? Again egyankosh में जा करके there is a search panel over there. अपना syllabus या topic यहाँ लिखिए and in that basically syllabus or topic. Let's say I am not able to understand Parson. Parson is a thinker in paper 1. So I just type Parson here and again click the submit button. They will recommend me some of the, you can say, IGNOU material for it. Now remember, why I am suggesting IGNOU material is because IGNOU material is prepared with one thing clear in mind, that here there will be no classroom for the student. There will be student who will be self-studying. So they deliberately try to provide very simplest form of understanding to the student in their material or content. They don't use hi-fi languages or jargons to make a student more confused, because here there is no one who they can help to understand that topic. So this is for self-study if you have a basically plan for doing that. So that is all from my side. I hope you have Hanji. For new NCERT only. Old NCERT time has gone for the reason that again no question I am finding in these days asked from it. So new NCERT is 4 books. Old NCERTs were 2 books only. 11th class 1 book, 12th class 1 book. But that was way too basically complicated, and many of the topics which were there in old NCERT are still there, but majority of them are basically eradicated because 2008 में sociology का syllabus change किया था. So again new NCERT which is published after 2005 will have lot of overlap with the new syllabus. So you can always have it. Right? So that Hanji. That is, we only have one batch which is from 3 to 5:30 only. It is what timing? 8 to 11. So again you have to appear for, basically you have to come twice, or if you are doing it at next IAS or in other institute, I can basic here only. So we can request to the institute to shift your batch to 11:30, and whatever topics has been covered you can be free from that, and whatever topic is left you can complete. It will be 1 month inconvenience for you, but then it will be sorted, so that you need not to wait for another 3 hours to come to the class. Or if you stay nearby only, there is no harm to come again. Right, so that is up to you. So दोनों ही option है. If it is next IAS, again we can make this possible by changing your batch. आप morning का भी कर सकते हो, या क्लास के बाद एक 6 बजे वाला भी बैच होता है. We can enroll you or shift you over there also. ये तो बताया, ये रोज का बताया आपको, एवरीडे है ना. इफ यू आर डूइंग जीएस एंड ऑप्शनल, दिस इज वन, है ना. बट सिंस आपके 2-3 साल हैं आपके पास, मान लीजिए यू आर इन सेकंड ईयर ऑफ कॉलेज, यू डू जस्ट ऑप्शनल एंड 6 आवर पर डे, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट जीएस 6 आवर पर डे, ये भी आप कर सकते हो. अगेन आफ्टर कंप्लीशन यू हैव टू जस्ट रीड वंस इन अ वीक द समरी और द सिनॉप्सिस rather than revising entirely. And once the prelims is over, in the first week of June or 10-15 days, you have to thoroughly read entire class notes and discussion, because we complete all the PYQs. There will be nothing beyond that which is necessary. From the last 5 years, I have not find any single question in examination which is not from our class notes or class discussion. We always have a previous year discussion, and we discuss with page number also this topic we have been covering in this class notes or discussion. Right? So need not to worry on that one. Way too easier because you can relate. नो नो, इट इज अ रियलिटी. जैसे अगर मैं कास्ट सिस्टम बोल रहा हूं तो आपको इमेजिन नहीं करना है. जैसे मान लीजिए अगर मैं कोई कॉन्सेप्ट बता रहा हूं तो आपको इमेजिन करना है. फिजिक्स में मैं ग्रेविटेशन बता रहा हूं, आपको इमेजिन करना है बहुत सारी चीजें, है ना. या ज्योग्राफी में मानसून बता रहा हूं या अदर कॉन्सेप्ट बता रहा हूं, यू हैव टू इमेजिन कि इस तरह से साइक्लोन आ रहा होगा एंड ऑल दैट. लॉट ऑफ इमेजिनेशन इज नीडेड. बट हियर यू कैन सी इट हैपनिंग इन योर सराउंडिंग. जैसे मैं डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की बात करूं, have you faced any discrimination? You will face discrimination every day in some form or the other when someone do not give you the priority, another person the priority. So here the topics are more relatable, and when things are more relatable, we can see it around us. It is become very simple to understand and grasp. That is one reason. So shall we wind up our session? So yes, thank you for being wonderful audience. We'll meet in our interaction in the classroom program. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. So again, someone has asked in online that again how to get material. We will courier it through postal services. No need to worry. What type of bent of mind or skill required? Again, a logical thinking person can appear in the basically sociology option. Nothing beyond that. How to get the material? If we do online course, we will be delivering it to your address. Right? Online timing and offline timing is same because both are live, है ना. तो दोनों hybrid course है, same time पे you will get the live. I am in notice period till June. Will any batch start apart from this? No, it will be in the month of June 1st. You can join, or 1st of May से भी join कर सकते हो. There is no need to worry. Again, if you are joining late also, we will, like some people have a examination of university this year. So again, we will provide you the online of the basic online access of those previous lectures which has been already completed. So need not to worry. You will not lose anything. Right? हाउ कैन बी क्लियर प्रीलिम्स? तो जब आप सोशियोलॉजी ज्वाइन करेंगे हम लोग उस पर भी बात करेंगे. अभी प्रीलिम्स बहुत दूर है, पहली प्रायोरिटी हमारा मेंस है, तो विल डू द मेंस पार्ट, है ना. सो दैट इज ओके. आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस विल बी देयर इन द क्लास इटसेल्फ. So hopefully I answered majority of your query, but still if there is any question, please post on the, you can say, comment boxes. We will try to address that again in the comment section, or some of our counselor will try to connect you to clarify all your doubts. So that is all from my side. Thank you everyone. Have a great time. We'll meet in our actual session of the sociology on 1st of May. Thank you.